my sweet friends. Welcome back to our channel. I hope that you are all doing so incredibly well tonight. For tonight's video, I thought that we could do another questions and answers video. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you all to ask me whatever you'd like to know about me, and you guys definitely delivered on that. So tonight I will be going through the questions and trying to answer as many as I can for you all. If you missed your chance to ask a question for this Q&A, don't you worry. I will definitely have more Q&As in the future. Just keep an eye on our community tab so that you'll know the next time that I am doing a questions and answers. So I got quite a few questions, so let's just hop right on into answering them. So the first question that we have here is, do you see yourself doing ASMR as a full-time job? If not, what do you want to do full-time? So I would love nothing more than to be able to do ASMR as a full-time job. I mean, I think it's a lot of people's dreams to be able to work for themselves and particularly have it be a YouTube-centered job. If you watched my last Q&A, I believe I talked about it, but I used to make YouTube videos like 10 years ago. So it was definitely my younger self's dream. And I mean, if I would be able to turn it into a full-time job, I would absolutely be honored. I mean, I'm gonna keep working as hard as I can towards growing our little channel and our little family here. And I will make YouTube videos for as long as you guys will let me. So hopefully it could be a full-time job one day, but you know, only time will tell. And if not, what do you want to do full-time? That I'm still undecided, as I've mentioned in other videos as well. Like if I had to pick a traditional full-time career, then I would like to work in education. I used to work at a preschool before the whole world got turned upside down, so I absolutely love doing that. So yeah, if I had to pick like a traditional career, then it would most likely be in education. But if not, then of course I would love to be self-employed, just creating content and helping you guys. That would be amazing. Okay, let's move on to the next question. So this question says, do you have to work on particular aspects? Example, breathing quietly, having a certain tone of your whisper, or did it come pretty naturally? I've always wondered how ASMR artists do it for a long time. basically how my channel started. If I hadn't sat down that day, I probably would not be here right now. It literally was just on a whim that I decided to see what my whisper sounded like. So yeah, the whisper is natural, but the breathing I have to work on. Okay. The next question is, what are your favorite snacks? What do you typically eat in a day? It sounds like you have good recipes. Well, thank you for thinking that I have good recipes. I'm not sure if I have good recipes. I mean, my boyfriend seems to think so. He always says that what I cook is really good, but I'm such a picky eater. A lot of the times I don't enjoy what I cook. I think that's partially just because things just simply are not as satisfying when you cook them yourself. When you've been standing at the stove, like smelling all the smells for like an hour straight, by the time you actually sit down to eat it, a lot of the times it's just not that appetizing. At least not to me. My favorite, absolute favorite snack is any sort of spicy chips. I'm a total hot Cheeto girl. No, but really, I love jalapeno Cheetos. I could literally eat like 10 bags of those every day if I could. So yeah, that's like my favorite snack. Is spicy chips. Like any sort of spicy chip, really. I am a big fan. And what do you typically eat in a day? Honestly, I don't really have any particular like plan set in place of what I eat in the day. Like I normally just eat whatever. I'm not that strict with what I eat, honestly. I kind of just wing it. Like sometimes for lunch I'll have whatever leftover like dinner I made, or I'll just have like a simple little like rice bowl or a bagel sometimes, just like anything really. And for dinner I'll normally make some sort of home cooked meal that I found off the internet usually all my recipes, like I've just googled them like 5 minutes before I make it. But yeah, I don't really eat anything typical in a day to day. I just eat whatever I'm vibing with that particular day. Okay, the next question is, have you ever had a paranormal experience? If so, could you tell us about it? Now, I don't think I've ever had a particular, like, true paranormal experience, but when I was still living with my mom at our house, I swear that one of the corners in my bedroom was, like, haunted or, like, just had bad vibes in it. I am a serial room changer arounder. I literally change my room around like every month, pretty much. Ever since I was like 7 years old and could push the furniture around, I have been changing thank you. You literally couldn't pay me to stop talking. What else? I just remember always feeling different as a child. I was one of those gifted kids, which I hate that we categorize children like that, because once you are a gifted kid, quote unquote, you will literally spend the rest of your life feeling like a failure, and trying to live up to that and being scared to disappoint everyone, which is exactly how I feel every day. But yeah, I just remember growing up that I always felt kind of like different than other people, and I always thought that I thought of things more deeply than other people, which apparently is a large portion of this personality type's like trait. Yeah, I always just thought that I thought of things in a deeper way than other people did. I always felt like other people were very surface level. I mean, not in like a weird, like, pick me sort of way, or like thinking that I'm better than other people by any means. Who knows what's going on in other people's heads? They could probably be thinking the same thing. But that's just how I felt growing up. I just felt different, which I've said in like a million videos. I always felt like the odd one out, that I was just different. No, not in a weird way. But yeah, that's my personality type apparently. So if you want to read about me, go read about INTPs. So someone else asked, were you ever scared of anyone you know finding your channel and thinking it's weird? This is the only thing stopping me from making videos. Love you. Well, I love you too. And absolutely, that's like the reason why I haven't told anyone. lighting, it looks quite dark. If I was in like natural lighting or in the sun, it's more of like a caramelly, like light brown color, which is my natural color. I did used to be a blonde as a child, which, if you know anyone who was blonde as a child, you know that it's very hard to let go of the fact that you are no longer blonde. In high school, I went through a horrific phase of dyeing my hair. My hair was still quite blonde in high school until I decided to dye it brown, and the brown came out kind of like reddish. It was like a red brown, and I did not like that, especially not with my blue eyes. It just didn't go good together. So then I dyed it darker brown to kind of try to like counteract the redness, and it went completely black. So then I had black hair, and I really didn't like that because it made me look even paler than I already did. And then I tried to bleach it, and it turned orange, and it was just a train wreck. It was a dumpster fire. It was a disaster for like a whole year straight. I dyed it like 18 different times trying to get it to like a normal looking color. And after about the 18th time of dyeing it, and it's still looking like doo-doo, I made a promise to myself to never, ever, ever dye my hair ever again. And I actually wrote out a little post-it note, and I wrote, "I will never dye my hair again," and I signed my name on it. And my mom actually hung it on the fridge because she really didn't want me to dye my hair either. She loved my natural hair color, and she was super sad the first time I ever dyed it. So when I vowed to never dye it again, she took that piece of paper and she put it on the fridge, and it is still on the fridge to this day. And I think I wrote it in like 2016, so literally like 6 years ago, and it's still on the fridge. And I have never dyed my hair since, and all of the dyed hair, of course, has grown out and been cut off years ago now at this point. So yeah, no, I probably will never dye my hair a different color. The only thing I would consider is like a balayage or like highlights, like not all the way to the root, you know, just kind of like melted at the ends, so that I never have to wait for like my entire head to grow out, and I would never want to completely recolor my hair again. So no, I don't think I'll ever dye my hair a different color. So I have already been talking for 45 minutes apparently, so I think that this will be the last question that I'm gonna answer. Like I said, don't worry if you didn't get a chance to ask a question, or if I didn't answer your question. I will be doing more Q&As in the future, so I will get around to everyone's questions eventually. But this one is, do you have a Patreon? If not, would you make one? I would totally subscribe to it. Well, thank you for saying that. I do not have a Patreon at this time. I do think I will make one in the future. I think I will probably make one after I hit like my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I just really still feel like a rookie right now, so I don't know if it's entirely appropriate to make a Patreon. But quite a few of you have actually asked me that over the past few weeks and said that you would like to subscribe to it. So thank you so much. That really does mean a lot to me. So it's definitely in the plans for sometime in the future, maybe in another 6 months or so, maybe sometime during the summer. But as of right now, no, I do not have a Patreon. So yeah, those are all the questions that I will be answering today. Thank you all so much to